I'm Anil Kumar, and here's a multiple choice question on inverse function for you. For the function f of x equals to minus square root of x plus 5, evaluate f inverse of minus 2. We are given 5 choices. Now, since we need to find f inverse of minus 2, we know on the function that is the y value, or that is minus 2 is f of x, correct? So what we can do is we can replace f of x by minus 2 and find x. Let's do that. So minus 2 equals to minus square root of x plus 5. So we get 2 equals to square root of x plus 5. Squaring, we get 4 equals to x plus 5, and x equals to 4 minus 5, which is indeed minus 1. So the option D is the right option. So that is one way of solving this particular question, correct? You could also solve this question by finding the formula for inverse function and then substitute minus 2, right? So to find inverse function, we have to switch x and y values. So we get, first the function is y equals to minus square root of x plus 5. Now remember one thing, when you're finding inverse of this function, let's try to sketch and write its domain and range. So this function basically is, okay, let me just sketch it here. Square root x is kind of like this, minus means it goes like this, and plus 5 means it moves 5 units towards left and then like this. So what we notice here is that the domain of the function is x greater than minus 5, and the range is y value less than or equal to 0, right? So the domain of the given function is minus 5. So let's include minus 5 to infinity, and the range for this function is from 0 to minus infinity, correct? That is the domain and range for the given function. For inverse, it is going to switch, correct? So we are looking for a domain here which is, let me write in a different ink. So domain for the inverse function is going to be from 0 to minus infinity, right? 0 will be included, right? This will be included. And the range for this function is from minus 5 to infinity. So that is the domain range for this function. Now keeping that in mind, let's find the inverse of this function. To find inverse, we'll swap x and y. So we get x equals to minus square root of y plus 5. We can now square it, so we get y squared. X squared equals to y plus 5. And from here, we can find y equals to x squared minus 5. Is it okay? But once you do that, you have to write that x is from 0 to negative infinity. I should have written as minus infinity to 0 in fact, right? So here we should write that the function is defined for x which is less than or equal to 0, right? So for the negative values only. So from here we can say f inverse of x is x squared minus 5, where x is less than or equal to 0, okay? So it's a good idea is not to write like this. It should have been written as, let me correct it. Range I should have written as from minus infinity to 0, okay? And therefore domain I should write this as from minus infinity to 0, correct? The lower value should come first. Now we got the inverse of the function, and from here we can calculate f inverse of minus 2. So f inverse of minus 2 will be minus 2 squared minus 5, and that gives us 4 minus 5 equals to minus 1, right? But this involves a lot of calculations. So what I'm trying to say here is, the basic concept is inverse and the function, their relation is that their x and y coordinates swap, right? So it becomes y and x. Now using this information, it is so simple to find the answer. So I'd like you to adopt this method of finding the answer rather than this long method, unless and until you have to find equation for the inverse function, right? Then it's a different story altogether. I hope that helps, especially to solve multiple choice questions. Thank you and all the best.